Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Benji back here again today, and I am going to go over a few trades for you guys, just basically my biggest winners, which are HPR and VAL. But before I go over, I just wanted to say I haven't uploaded any videos recently because my mic actually broke and I had to get a new one, and it took forever for Amazon to ship because they were out of stock for the longest time, but I finally got it, and the audio quality probably sounds really, really good. Um, I was just listening to like a mic test that I was doing, and it sounds like super clear, which is awesome. But let's get into today's trade recap. So looking at HPR first, we are going to see that I traded this pre-market. Just a quick little recap. Today is June 8th. So on June 5th, Friday, I didn't trade, but I did a recap, basically just like a recap myself, looked at like what ran, and it seemed that on Friday, oil and gas were hot near the end of day. So as we can see, HPR, we basically ran all day, the entire morning. It was uptrending, and it closed very strong, very well. So coming into Monday, we actually see a gigantic gap up. It's from 36 cents to roughly about, so as soon as we opened up, we just start uptrending a little bit, 50 cents-ish. And this is a huge gap up. Almost every single gas and oil related stock gapped up today. So these were on my watch list. These were my top watches. I was basically only watching oil and gas. I didn't really have any other stocks that I was watching. So I actually ended up trading HPR pre-market, which I rarely do, but I just love this setup. I really was confident because especially since VAL was kind of like the lead dog this morning during pre-market. Let's look at this chart because I don't really want you guys, I'm not going to review my trades yet for VAL, but we're looking right here. So as we can see, basically VAL was running pre-market. It went from $1.50 to $1.90 between 7 a.m. to about 8 a.m. And I just knew oil was hot. Oil had Momo, and I wanted to get in and make some profits. So HPR, it was a lot of people in the chat room were talking about it, and I decided to take an entry on this little flag right here because this was around the time that VAL was making its new highs at around 7:50 in the morning, 7:50 a.m. So I took some entries, bought shares 55 cents, 56 cents, and 59 cents. And I actually ended up scalping this basically. So I bought around 750, sold around 754, 755, and 759. So looking here, I sold just on pops because I knew this thing was following VAL. And as we can see, VAL actually dipped at 751. From 751 to 756, we had a dip on VAL. So I was kind of iffy. I was kind of scared that this would follow VAL and dip with it. So I basically just sold once it broke a new high above 59 cents, sold at 63, sold at 63, and then sold the rest. No, that was basically all out right there. And then a few minutes later, I took another entry. These are kind of like my iffy entries. I'm not really going to go over them because as you guys can see, I bought and I sold. Even though I had a little bit of shares left because I sold half that position. But there wasn't really a chart setup that was playing there. I kind of just bought just anticipating it to go up. Because I noticed there was like the support on VWAP. So I bought a little bit there. Didn't really have a plan here, but just ended up taking most of my profit out around 60 cents again. So I was up kind of big on this. I think I was up around $1,000, which is pretty solid for it not even be market open yet. So I'm waiting just a little while, watching the chart set up, watching VAL and HPR, and I noticed that there's an ascending triangle forming. We're going to look on this chart because this one's all cluttered. So I noticed an ascending triangle forming from 755 to 834, and I'm drawing the higher low pattern, or the lower high pattern and higher lows, and I'm looking to take an entry as close to this support level as possible because I want to manage my risk as best as I can. So I'm taking entries here, as you guys can see, at 817. I take some 50, 59, around 60 cents. Take a little bit more, it's 60 cents. I'm in this thing just holding, take some more, it's around 62 cents. And then boom, we have a short little breakout above its resistance trend line. And again, this is pre-market, so I'm not playing for big moves. I'm playing kind of just for the quick pops. So as soon as I see this thing kind of like test its previous high or even get over its high, I'm taking my profits. As you guys can see, I sold basically around 63 cents, 63 cents. And I was basically all out at that point. Just a quick little scalp win right there. And pre-market, I usually don't take pre-market. I find that there's a lot more risk involved when trading pre-market. So I tend to trade a lot with like tighter stops, and I trade basically with tighter PTs. I'm looking for price targets that are not as big as I would go for if it's market open. That's what I'm trying to say. So I was basically all out around 63 cents. We had a little pullback, and of course it hit a new high, but it was only 66 cents. That's just 3 cents above my exit, so it was fine. It was all right. That was my HPR trade. Since I didn't trade that at all during market open, I made about $1,600 off of it, which is a solid win, especially because it was before 9:30 a.m. So solid winner right off the back. And next we have VAL. VAL is the big dog of the day. So looking at VAL, this thing, I've had a ton of trades on VAL. We're not even going to go over pre-market because basically I entered 183, sold 184 because I knew I shouldn't have entered. Like I said, I don't like to play pre-market. Oh, it just made a new high. Funny. I was actually looking to take a trade about right before I started recording this video, but decided not to. But we're going to review my trades on this. So looking at the chart, as soon as market opened, I waited. I didn't trade this initially like right off the back. I was kind of waiting. And as you guys can see, I kind of just like scalped it a little bit. My first trade, not really anything special because again, there wasn't really a chart setup and I like to play chart setups. I'm not really the type of person that just anticipates it to go up on nothing. So I'm looking for a chart setup. I take a little bit at about 10-ish, but I sell very quickly because I know there's not a chart setup. Yeah, basically made a little bit off this. I wasn't up big at all. I was probably up under $100 off this trade. So I waited longer because I knew this wasn't a solid chart setup. I just wanted to see what would build, what would form. And as we can see, another ascending triangle formed. So from looking at this chart from basically market open, because the bottom, the support trend line is leading from market open. From market open to 1140, we have a solid ascending triangle forming. The support trend line is great. This thing never broke below support, which I loved. I was kind of iffy on this at first because of this was kind of like consolidating in a weird way. Usually it would consolidate by hitting the trend line, bouncing up, hitting the trend line, bouncing up. So I was kind of iffy on it, but I was confident overall because I knew this support trend line was strong. I knew it was. And the reason I knew it was because it just clearly didn't break below. If it broke below, I would have been out for a loss. So looking at my entries, I started taking entries around my first entries right here, 1137. So a few minutes before the chart actually broke out, because I was watching for an increase in volume. Hold up. Sorry, just got a notification. So I was looking for an increase in volume, and we got that at around 1137, my first entry, 1138, not really anything crazy, no serious increase in volume. 1139, bam, 647,000 shares of volume traded. So I sized in a little bit, 1137, 1138, sized in more, and 1139, I actually bought a lot of shares. I bought more shares. And then as soon as we broke the resistance trend line, I was looking to add even more because I was confident. This was confirmation for me. When it breaks above its resistance trend line and flags above it, which it did, it flagged right here. This was a little flag. I consider this a flag above the 8 EMA moving average. So I consider this confirmation. I entered more shares. As you guys can see, I took a little bit just there because I was in pretty big, and I don't know. Sometimes when I'm in pretty big, I get kind of nervous. So I took a little bit off. Not for a loss, I just took a little bit off, which I do regret doing, but it made me feel much more comfortable in the trade. So I was holding, it was riding the 8 EMA perfectly. And I basically saw this as an opportunity to just sell because, as you guys can see, our previous high was $2, and I was in from low 180s. 180 average. I think I had like a 178 average or something like that. So I started taking profits around $1.92 because I was noticing there to be some resistance, some selling on the asks, and some people were selling on the bids. So I was taking my profits around there. And hold up, I'm trying to see this chart. So I was taking my profits around $1.93, $1.93. I actually, it's funny because I just take my profits and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't sell off. Because as you can see, we have another mini flag right here. It didn't close below the 8 EMA. So I actually re-added more shares because I consider this a dip. I added more shares, $1.89, some more $1.94, $1.96, $1.99. And the thing is that I took my profits because I saw the resistance, re-added because it never broke below the 8 EMA, which I consider as a support level, a very strong support level in the 1 minute. And I noticed this. Hold up. I actually called this out. I noticed this actually create a cup and handle. And it's not the cleanest, but as you guys can see, from 940 to 12, we have a cup and handle right here. Where my cursor's going. You see that? Handle's right there. From 1150 to 12, that's the handle. So that's pretty much why I retook some shares here. I was anticipating this to create a perfect handle and then break above 2. Because as we can tell, 2 was a previous high day, which is major resistance. And if we can get over 2, it will run. I was very confident on this. So I took more shares. Right down here, $1.89, $1.95, $1.96, and then I added $1.99, about literally $2, because I saw so many shares of volume going through. People were smacking the $2, and I figured I'd join them. I'd help them smack the $2 mark. So as soon as we broke above 2, I started selling on the ask. I got some shares filled 207. I got some shares filled 213, and then I basically was just riding out the rest of my position, just watching the 8 EMA. And it was still following the 8 EMA. Didn't really close below it. We had a little wick that went below the 8 EMA, but didn't close. There was no close. The candle did not close below it. So I basically just took profits on these bounces. When it would hit new highs, I took profit, kept taking profit, and that was basically all out at 12.12, which, of course, now it's at 230. But I made a good amount of money on this trade. I'm very happy with the way I executed this because I could have easily just not entered on this cup and handle. I could have easily just taken all of my shares down here at $1.93 and been like, oh, okay, that's a $1,000 winner. But instead, I re-added my shares because I noticed a cup and handle forming. And from there, I basically just followed my instincts. Noticed that $2 was getting chipped away, the $2 ask, around 1206. As soon as the $2 ask got eaten, it just popped hard. Sold in the ask because it went from $2 to 207 instantly. And then basically just rode my shares and sold on more pops. And I'm very happy with the way I executed this. Netted about 2,500 off this one trade, which is solid in my books. I'm happy. I'm happy. It's currently 1:18 p.m. I'm most likely going to be done for the day, but I will sit here and just watch charts, just see if anything else forms. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much because it's been a while. It's been a long time. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed my little trade analysis and hope you guys profited from HPR, VAL, or whatever else you guys traded. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.